let's start talking about the team, your last team, about Falcons. What happened with there? How bad is it for them?
No, I think for the Falcons, I mean, like the pressure got to them, and then they found themselves in a situation where they probably knew coming into the major that they were gonna make roster changes. And no matter how much you try and leave that on the side, I think it will always affect specifically the player that's being outed, but also like the rest of the team. Not that they're like a dead team or anything, but it's always hard condition to work on, especially if things doesn't go the way you wanted. Like, let's say that Falcons got here and they were 2-0 in the first opening game, then I think they would have been a completely different story. I think they would have been here and actually maybe also made their way into the playoffs. But I'm just on this belief that they're, with all the things that's maybe is going on behind the scenes on the Falcons, and then them getting a really bad start, that was too much for them to handle, and they couldn't bounce back because there were so many what ifs that kept circulating inside the team, and obviously it's nothing but a disappointment for all of them.
What about this rumor of Magisk reportedly going out? Is that the right decision?
Obviously, I cannot confirm the rumors of him going in and out. I mean, it's obviously in Falcons' hands. I came from the team and I left it where I was benched back after the major in China, and they wanted to do a rebuild around Magisk. So obviously they knew Nico was coming into the team, and they wanted to keep Magisk because he's still a guy that you can rely on, and obviously he's had a hard time. Let's just be honest. Like, he's not been putting up the numbers that he wants himself, but he's obviously also been in a hard situation where he has to constantly play around new players, and I think that at this point maybe he just feels he's not very comfortable inside the team anymore. Maybe the team feel like he feels maybe the team like they lack like trust in him. I don't think he performs in that way. So if it's gonna be him or if it's gonna be Tessus or Kiksen, I don't know.
I don't know if you've been analyzing kyousuke, who's everybody's talking about.
I haven't actually. The only thing that I've like, he's just been praised a lot by a lot of people, and also his stats has been skyrocketing. It kind of reminds me of Dunk, that this Russian kid just kind of coming out of nowhere, just starting to make a name for himself without actually proving it at the biggest tournaments yet. So I mean, there's a lot of pressure on the shoulder of this young guy, but then that's the same thing with Dunk. But Dunk showed up and has definitely done it ever since.
And about upsets in the major, why do we see so many?
I think it all comes down to pressure. And I think the thing is, if you're a top team coming here to make a good run, going into the playoffs and everything, it's actually hard to just go in this environment knowing that you can only kind of succeed. They only, like you, if you or you can actually only fail. So you come into the stage and you're supposed to go out and perform the way you've done previously. Like, if you look at the likes of Vitality, they come into this tournament knowing that, okay, we're like the prime favorite to win. If they won't actually win this, this will be a disappointment. And I think that is what a lot of the teams are seeing themselves, is that they are kind of favorites to go far. And then you go up against a lot of teams that, for Legacy, for example, that they have nothing to lose, that they are in a position where no one expects anything from them. And, expectations and pressure is just something that you don't deal with that much in professional Counter-Strike outside of the majors, because that will just be another tournament. There will not be another major tomorrow or in 2 weeks or in 3 weeks. It's going to be months before there's going to be a new major where you actually get to take a chance of this. So the tournament itself is just coded in some kind of pressure and expectation. And I think that just a lot of teams have a hard time dealing with it.
I would like to hear something from your side about the Brazilian and Chinese teams. What have you seen in them?
I think Legacy has come a long way this tournament. They were not even supposed to be here, and they made it here. And let's be honest, they should probably have beaten Mousesports and make it into playoffs. Completing the Cinderella run, but they didn't. I mean, I think with Legacy, what they showed is that they showed that they can play some really good Counter-Strike. And I think that a lot of their fundamentals in terms of taking space and trading and playing off each other was like really on point. And I think that is what you need to have a really good showing in Counter-Strike nowadays. So they nailed that to a very big degree. I think their issue is obviously just inexperience. I mean, they got so close that I think they started thinking too much about it. And I think that has actually been their strength, is that they've just taken one step at a time all the time, where they just, okay, we're just enjoying being here. It's fun. Like, how far can we actually go? But when you get to that final hurdle, knowing, okay, one more game and then we will be inside the playoffs, inside of the arena, and they actually played great in the series, but they just couldn't close it out. And I think that just comes down to experience.
If you were playing currently, right, how much more time you were dedicating to practice and prepare pistol rounds than what you were used to in CSGO?
I think pistol rounds are pretty random nowadays, especially like we ended up in a time in Falcons where we decided not to prepare pistol rounds. We did prepare pistol rounds, but we didn't counter pistol rounds, mainly because I feel like it's just like just flip the coin and hopefully you make it right. And obviously, I think it's more about that you create pistol rounds where you will put your players in positions where they are just comfortable, because pistol rounds is all about individuality. And if you can put up your individuals in like their prime position or where they feel comfortable, whether a guy playing dualies or playing a specific position, I think that's where you want to go to. But nowadays we do see a lot of gambles where, because people just want to hope that they get a good start.
And during these 2 weeks, which has been the most exciting team to watch?
I think Legacy's up there. I think they have been very exciting to watch. I've enjoyed watching FaZe and how they have developed. They got off to a really good start in stage 2, made it through stage 3, and has from time to time looked a little bit, I wouldn't say silly, but more like maybe undecisive in the decision making, but also the way that the synergy has been working for the team. I think it's really great to see Simple doing well. I think it's a narrative that everyone wants to see, for him to bounce back and have a good time. And he was a menace and a guy to be reckoned with in stage 3, and also one of the big factors to why they made it to the playoffs. So that's just cool, And FaZe Clan in the playoffs is always gonna be super awesome. And then I think it's nice to see Navi also bouncing a little bit back, but also I just love to see that Spirit and Mattel just cruising through.
Any team or player maybe you think is underrated right now?
For Legacy, I think Dumao has been playing super good. Him and Lado, guys that's been around for quite a while. I remember playing them multiple times in my career as well. So it's nice to see them kind of bounce back with a roster that no one really expected. They've been around for the Cold Zero and Taco for a while, and I think it's good that they've kind of gotten away from that and just trying to find their own identity. I think maybe there's obviously some of the guys that's been eliminated. That's been, I think, Sway from Nemiga has been a stand-up performer. Tinir from Heroic has also been a guy that we've talked a lot about. But other than that, you have all the usual suspects in all the other teams that are just performing. So it's nice to see. And I think actually Molodor maybe from Fury is actually maybe a stand-up performer as well.